Daniel, great to see you. You look well wintered. You look raring to go ahead of a new season. How are you feeling?
Great to see you too, Lawrence. Feeling good. Feeling good. I didn't need as much of an off season as everyone else with a short 23. So yeah, I was still nice to go home. Don't get me wrong. I loved being home, but I didn't need to like let my hair down so much, which was nice. I stayed pretty much. I won't say on, but I stayed, healthy for the majority of my break.
Okay, as in you just didn't have
I
that
didn't
much fun. Is that what you're saying?
No,
you
not
didn't go
like
and party and have a great
I
time?
didn't. I kind of did that in like the first part of last year, and I was like, yeah. I think just getting back racing, I was so happy to be racing again and so excited that I didn't really feel like I needed to undo much of the work.
Okay.
So yeah, but it was cool. I was on the farm, chilling.
Nice.
Still riding bikes, having fun. But I wouldn't say I had like really any wild nights or didn't overindulge.
Good for now, let's say.
Yeah, I'll party after some good results, don't worry.
Well, I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah.
Did you manage to hit the training block hard as well? Because I know that would be a good period of time where you could really get stuck in, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little bit like the August break, where I'd just come back in and I didn't need the August break for me personally, so I used that to train and let's say catch up a little bit. And the same now in December. Normally I'll take pretty much all or most of December off, but yeah, I probably went the longest stint without training was maybe 3 days.
Oh wow, okay.
But I was always doing stuff that kept me active, and also kind of like after the hand, I've kind of been trying to build up strength again, particularly on like my left side, left hand and arm and whatever. So yeah, just stayed in it, which was good.
Does this feel then maybe a little bit like your real comeback? Because you've had a proper winter, you've had time to like get your hand 100%, and you've had a proper fitness block. So it's like you're headed into a real season properly.
Yeah, it's like a real preseason now, and I've had all that. I've had the preparation, got a bit of a head start last year, let's say, so know the team well, and I just come Bahrain. There's like nothing left on the table. There's no we're still trying to figure this out. It's obviously I can't predict where we're going to finish, but from a preparation point of view, there's no more questions.
And I bet you're itching to get back behind the wheel. I know did you drive a 2-year-old car the other day for a few laps?
I did not. Okay. I heard they said I was there.
but you were not there?
No,
okay.
No, I wasn't. Suki did a few laps.
Okay.
But I chose to stay in my training block, let's say, and get a few more days at home fulfilling that. And then, I don't know, it's a personal thing. I think like even some guys want to drive a lot and, stay in a seat, but I personally want to stay in the seat that I'm going to be driving, so I'd rather kind of not pick up any, I don't even want to say bad habits, but just, I personally don't find it as useful for me. So I'd rather focus on my training and then jump in the 2024 car. What year are we in? 2024?
Not the first time you're going to do that, I think.
Just raring to go. So I'm hanging out for Bahrain. Definitely feel ready now.
What do you make of the car? Have you seen it yet in all its glory?
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't even seen the livery yet.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
I'm aware of the colours that will be on the car.
I mean, you're kind of wearing
some. But in terms of like the final livery, I haven't seen it. So I'm excited though. And it's obviously the rule. There's not much rule changes this year, so the cars will be an evolution of last year, and we had quite a few updates like at the tail end of last season. So I think it prepares us well for the start of the season.
What have the team told you, or what do you know when talking to the engineers about what kind of package it's going to be? Because we're hearing about a close relationship with Red Bull this year. Mm-hmm. You've got tons of investment, looking at the number of sponsors on your shirt. It's a newer team identity. It feels like an all-round new team almost.
It's shaping up to be, and there's a lot of new personnel. As you mentioned, some big partners coming on board. I think it's not obviously the team has always taken itself seriously, but I feel like this is another step up now. It's really, it's no longer just a platform for Red Bull Racing. It's a time for us to fight, at the front of the midfield And of course, everyone is, you speak in the team, some people are encouraged and optimistic, and then others are, let's just wait till we get it on track. So you never know, and that's the truth. And even if the team was super excited, I would be like, guys, let's just wait till we put it on track in Bahrain. But yeah, I like what's happened, the changes that have taken place, and I feel like there's something, I don't know, something about the team, the mindset's a little bit different, and kind of like a point to prove.
Oh, nice.
I would say so. It's cool. It's coming into it. It's fun.
Have you spent much time with Laurent? Did you know him beforehand? Get on really well with him?
Yes. So we worked together in the Toro Rosso days. So we both used to be part of this team. And then he had his time at Ferrari. But if I saw him obviously in the paddock, like we always, would definitely stay in touch, or let's say stay amicable for sure. But the last few weeks, we've had a lot of calls, and he's highly motivated, I think, to make this work. And I'm excited to work with him again. I think he's definitely a good person for the team, and he brings a lot of, honestly, it's very used words, don't get me wrong, but like energy and motivation, and I would say like the policies that he's kind of bringing into the team, I think it's going to change a lot of the way we go about it, and I think it's cool.
Got some other big names as well. Got Tim Goss, you spent a long time at McLaren, was at the FI. Got Alan Permain, who would have been at the team when you were there at Renault as well. It does feel like this is becoming like a big team almost, isn't it, in the way the structure's happening and the way that you guys are presenting yourself. And that must be super exciting for you going forward. It
is, and Alan, I spent 2 years with him at Renault, and it's funny. A lot of the teams are very small now, have different names. So, but it was Renault at the time, and I had a good relationship with Alan, and I think as well for him, he spent many years in Formula One. I know how long it is, but I won't say it because he'll make him feel old. But he's very experienced. But I think probably a bit like me last year, just having a little bit of time off and now coming into a new team and kind of just, having a little bit of a different probably perspective on the sport. I think that will be really beneficial to us. There's a lot that I'm encouraged about being here. And obviously last year I came into it halfway through the season, and it was just, let's just try and get some points and get the team out of 10th place. But it feels very different, 6 months later, and with everything that's kind of changed.
Kind of in how you felt with the car towards the end of last year, do you feel like you, with very limited testing, you were able to hit the ground running? Do you think this year, and you feel like you're in that space to really go get what you can with the car that you have right from the off?
Yes, I feel that way. It's, like personally, as I kind of alluded to, the off-season for me didn't feel like I was just on the couch and I don't know. I kind of stayed, let's say mentally stayed in it pretty much the whole time. So I think getting back in the car won't feel like, I haven't driven for a few months. So I expect to kind of just, get back into the swing straight away. And then I would say the way we developed the car through the tail end of last season was we definitely found some things that I think at first worked really well for me. And then Yuki as well, I think found also the strengths in it, with his driving style, obviously having a good Abu Dhabi. So, a lot to, I would say, stay pretty upbeat about coming into the start.
And are you feeling the team are leaning on you in that kind of way from the feedback point of view? You've obviously got a ton of experience, worked with a load of teams as well. I'm not trying to call you old, but, let's call it experience.
I'm a little floozy. Is that a floozy?
Just move around,
see around.
Where you fancy, get around. That's probably better words for it. Do you think that really helps the team? But do you feel like, not a pressure, but kind of a leadership element to that kind of going forward and taking this team ahead?
Yeah, it's something I also enjoyed. I saw it coming into the team last season that obviously naturally, yes, with my experience, I'm going to give a ton of feedback and try to help not only myself, but of course the team move forward. But I could see how kind of receptive and engaged everyone was. And I think how, they appreciated the experience, the other teams I've worked with, and how I was able to try to just maybe, get them thinking maybe other ways, or just maybe get them out of the little maybe circle they're in, and yeah, it's like a fresh set of eyes, right? But it also then encouraged me to find more, and it's like, okay, they're listening and this is working, so let's keep working and pushing everyone to kind of, even, I don't want to say think outside the box, because I'm not, I'm definitely not the smartest guy in the room. There's a lot of people thinking more crazy ways than me, but yeah, it was like, you could tell there was a boost. And I think once we saw it translate to lap time and I was happier in the car, then everyone's like, okay, we're onto something. Let's keep digging.
Since you've returned to this team after the difficulties you had at McLaren, do you feel things like you can go through a weekend and build a rhythm much earlier on, and you kind of have that upward curve, and when you then maybe hit an area where you're struggling a little bit, do you feel like you're picking up and finding a solution quicker? Because that's generally what it's looked like in that very small sample of work we've seen at the end of last year.
Yeah, more times than not, that's the case. I certainly feel, yeah, I would say just more confidence in the car, because there's a bit more understanding, and the feedback I'm getting is correlating more with what I feel or the way I drive. And look, there's 24 races this year. There's going to be races where, yeah, you're probably still scratching your head and, I don't know why, that session didn't go that well. We didn't really, that's racing. So I can't expect to have 24 flawless races and weekends and sessions, but I have confidence that we will have more good ones than not. And the more I drive this car, the more I gel with the team, the engineers, I think the more chance we have of producing good weekends like Mexico and a few others we're able to do.
So I know you've not driven the car, you've not even seen it, so it's difficult to make kind of expectations or say what your expectations are, but do you have like personal targets of what you really want to see from yourself this year?
It's a continuation of last year. It's a continuation of getting back into Formula One and the way I felt, and yeah, my enthusiasm for driving again, and my willingness to make this kind of chapter 2 of my career work. It's really that. It's my will is as high as it's been in a long time, and I think I'll just put that to good use, and then the results will hopefully show.
If this team kind of does evolve in the way that it looks like, the way it's structuring it, do you think you can go and take podiums, win races, go and fight for really big results kind of going forward, if not this season, in the foreseeable?
Yeah, it's one of those ones you obviously have to aim high, right? But a part of you, just obviously being in this sport so long, you also want to remain a little bit realistic, because you don't want to end up ultimately disappointed. But I would say top fives should certainly be a target. And then if we get into that position, okay, then maybe some podiums present themselves. Of course we want to win, but I think we made steps last year. Let's make a few more steps. But do I think top 5 results are on the table, and could they be on the table in the first half of the season? I'd like to think so, absolutely.
And is it going to be a shoey? Where is the shoey level at the minute? Is it like a third on the podium, or is it only wins?
Oh,
wins
no,
only?
It's podium worthy, okay. I think. You don't know when they're going to come around, and that's the truth. If I end up getting them every weekend, then maybe I'll slow them down and just save them for the wins. But right now, they would certainly be podium worthy. Yeah. Do you want to see one?
I do want to see one, yeah. Because I've got the other shoe left over from when you did that shoey after you won for McLaren at Monza, so it feels like it's going wasted. They're ready for you when you're ready, so I'll bring it to every race for you. It was great to hear that you mentioned, you described it as a second chapter of your career. You're only 34. Like, do you see that if things go well at this minute in time, you could just keep going and going and going? Not like maybe Fernando Alonso go, but you can keep racing for the foreseeable.
That's certainly the approach, because look, do I want to be racing into my 40s? Probably not, but the approach and the mindset is, if I prepare myself well and do everything I know I need to do, there's no reason why I still can't be performing at a top level, into my 40s. so to speak. Okay, when I get to that age or whatever, I'll cross that bridge and make those decisions. But yeah, the mindset is put everything into this so I can sustain this and can keep doing it, like Fernando is, for example.
Now, has Helmut Marko given you any kind of targets? 'Cause I know he's always in your ear. If you're a Red Bull family driver, he's always in your ear. Has he given you any words of wisdom even ahead of this year?
Nothing specific, but I know him, and I don't need to hear anything. Like I know what the target is and what's required, and I think I feel like I don't want to just talk about Mexico like I talked about Monza with McLaren, but okay, I only did a few races, so I feel like I can talk about Mexico, but I know that's what he knows I'm capable of. And even that weekend, I feel like he didn't need to say much. I saw him on the grid. He gave me the smile, like that's the Daniel I know, so to speak. So that's all. If I make him smile, I know I'm doing my job, and I know what my job is.
Brilliant. Okay, well at least you know.
Make Helmut smile. To-do list.
That's right at the top of the list.
Yeah.
And that means if Helmut's saying that that's the Daniel I know, do you feel like the Daniel you know now, right this minute in time, like that we knew before maybe McLaren?
Yeah. It's something that I've enjoyed getting back to this place, and yes, everyone has their path and their journey and whatever. So this has been mine, and I'm happy to be back at this place now where I feel like I've still got it, and ultimately as well, I still want to do it, and I want to do it because I feel like there's still more to prove. We're in a good place.
Great stuff. Excited to see how you get on, mate. Enjoy the season. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks.